What's up, YouTube? I'm back again with another deck profile. And with the top card, yes, this deck is ready for link format, if you guys didn't know that already. And with the top card, you can also guess probably what this deck is. And if you guess Zoodiac, you are right. This is a Zoodiac deck profile. And I know a lot of you guys that's watched if you've watched any of my older videos, almost every single video I'm talking about this deck of how much I hate it. But now that I've actually built it and I've completed it, it actually isn't all that bad. It is pretty fun, believe it or not. But I still don't like the fact that it's a pay-to-win deck. I don't really care much for any meta deck because, like I say, it is pay-to-win. But in this format right now, I feel like why not just give it a go. And it is a good deck to pick up right now. And it's pretty cheap right now. It's only around like $100 to $120 with the core. And if you guys don't know what the deck core is, I'm talking about like the extra deck and then the main Zoodiac monsters. But it is a bit more than $120 once you take in the other cards. But you guys probably have all the other staples anyways by this time now. But let's get right into the deck. Start off with double Rapier. Rapier's at 2, so you can only play 2 right now. And it's a really good card, and I'll show you 2 combos at the end of the video with Rapier and if you brick without Rapier. But simply Rapier, whenever he's summoned, you can send a Zoodiac monster to the graveyard. I normally send the Ram because it's just my personal preference. And whenever he's under an Xyz material, I'll just use Borbo for an example. The Xyz he's on gets the same as this, which is you can detach the special summon Rat from the deck. So it's really good for link plays, which you'll see later on in the video. Triple Whiptail. Whiptail is really good. I'm sorry I don't have the ulties, but like I say, I just recently picked this deck up, so I don't have the ultis just yet. But Triple Whiptail is really good because it's the Kalute of the deck, or it's the Honest of the deck. And it's also really good for if your opponent doesn't have an established board, like if their board isn't established, and you have something like, let's say, a Trident. If you have a Trident on board, you can swing with the Whiptail, and then whenever you go into attack with your Trident, equip the Whiptail to Trident, and then swing with Trident. So it is really good in that case, like I say, being a Kalute or being an Honest. Also, the other effect is it's good for getting rid of bills. Whenever he's under an Xyz, the Xyz gains the effect of after damage calculation, you can banish the monster at battle. So if you're somebody like me and you hate cards like bills that just can't really be destroyed at all, this does out it. Now on to Double Thoroughblade. If I had 3, I might run 3, but right now I'm really liking 2. This is a card that I want to see in a top deck or want to see in my opening hand. It is a really good card, and if you guys don't know what it does, whenever he's equipped to an Xyz monster, the Xyz monster gains piercing, and then also his main effect is you can discard a Zoodiac card from your hand and draw a card. So he's really good for cycling out your resources. And on to the next card. Sorry guys, I'm separating up things for the combo later on in the video. Double Ram. Ram's good, mainly for the fact that whenever he's on an Xyz material, it's pretty much unaffected by targeting traps, which is really, really good in this game right now, because most of the traps that run right now do target. This does brick sometimes, so I thought about cutting it down to 1, but I feel like with the fact that Rapier is at 2, it's kind of a must play at 2 right now. But if Rapier ever goes up to 3 again, which is never, then I would cut this down to 1. On to my favorite engine of the deck, Kaijus. I really like the Kaiju engine in this deck, and whenever you brick and you don't open up any of your Zoodiac monsters, or you brick but you don't have the resources to go into any major plays, these really save you, because you can just give your opponent something like a Gameciel and then give yourself a Dogoran or give yourself a Jizakuri. Or if you get lucky enough and you opening up the Kaiju Sleeping Slumber, it really opens up for some game-winning plays. And I can't tell you how many times I've won with this deck. I've only been playing this deck for 2 weeks now, and I can't tell you how many times I've won a game off of just the Kaiju Sleeping Slumber. And for the hand traps, 2 Ogre, 1 Maxi. I don't have Ash Blossoms, and I did own an Ash Blossom, but I traded it. And I don't own Droll and Lock birds, but I'm going to try to pick them up. But if you guys own Ashes, and if you guys own Droll and Locks, definitely run Droll and Locks and Ashes. But right now I don't have any. And also that I'm at the end of the monsters, I don't have any Gofus. But if you have Gofus, definitely run triple Gofu. I don't have any Link Spiders. So if you have Link Spiders, definitely run 2 Link Spiders. But that's for you guys wondering, wait, why doesn't he have any Gofus or anything? To finish up the Kaiju ending, 2 Sleeping Slumber. It's pretty much a dark hole, then you give your opponent like a Gamma Seal or a Kumungus, and then give yourself the Jizakuri or the Dogoran. On to the, pretty much the standard cards. The Zoodiac Barrage, to pretty much just special summon out your rat or something like that. And then the Tinky to search the rat, or something like a Whiptail to hand for late game. 3 Shuffle Reborn. I was playing 2, but I cut it back up to 3 because this card is really an MVP of the deck. Every deck list I normally have an MVP card in. Of course Rat's the MVP, but if I had to pick another MVP, it would probably be the Kaiju Slumber or Shuffle Reborn. Shuffle Reborns, I would think it wouldn't be that good going into the early game, but it's really good going into the early game, believe it or not, especially if you get board wiped early on by a Raigeki. But if you guys don't know what it does, when you have no monsters on the board, you can play it, bring back something like a rat, and then shuffle the rat back into the deck, and then banish this card to draw a card. And at the end of your turn, you banish a card from your hand. But by that time, I mean, I really don't have a hand. It's either set, down, or it's a brick card anyways that I don't care about losing. Now, if I had another one of these that I'm showing next, yes, I would cut Shuffle Reborn down to 2, My Body. I really want to run 2 My Body, but right now I only own 1. I'm going to try to pick up a second one. Pay 1,500 life points. Stop yourself from getting board wiped. I think the 1,500 is really good, because I would gladly pay 1,500 to keep my Dryden and my Raiden on board. Dress. I run Dress over Chalice because who cares about the 600 or whatever it is, the 800 attack boost. I would rather save my monsters than to boost them up, but I can see, I side my Chalices, but I can see why people would main the Chalices, but I'm a guy that likes to main the Dress, because I really want to keep my Dridents alive. 2 Pianissimo, same reason as Dress, I want to keep my Dridents alive from getting board wiped. 1 Twin, just because I really need a back row removal in this deck. If I had Cosmic Cyclone, this would probably be a Cyclone, but right now the Twin's working pretty fine, and like I say, I could care less if I lose the card from my hand, because this is literally a 1-card deck with Rat Pier anyways. 1 Soul Charge, because Soul Charge is good in any deck that it's legal in. So definitely play the Soul Charge. It's free. It's pretty much a Monster Reborn with the amount of life points you want to pay, and you skip your battle phase, so it's well worth it. Raigeki, because it's a board wipe. You gotta run Geki. Zoodiac Combo, because it's Pot of Avarice, but for zoos. This card I've never got to play yet, but in test playing with my friends and playing phones with friends, this card really comes in handy, because the fact that I can shuffle back in my Dridents into my extra decks and my Rat into my main deck and then draw a card is just way too strong. TT, because I feel like TT's any deck, really any deck that isn't a troll deck, I feel should run TT. I've always enjoyed running TT in my decks, and in Zoo, with a deck that you don't want to get board wiped, it's always good to board wipe your opponent and keep yourself from getting board wiped. So that's the reason why I like this. You want to take control of the battlefield, and with that you can. The Solemn Brigade, 1 warning, 1 strike. You've got to run them. And then 1 Bottomless. The Bottomless is going to be a strike. I'm going to buy me a strike probably this Friday, or I'm probably going to buy me a D-Barrier this Friday, or whatever the thing's called. But yeah, this could be a barrier, or this could be a strike if you want it to be. Just right now I don't have the other strike. And I don't really have a side deck. Like I say, I haven't really worked on the side deck that much. But if I did have to mention any cards, definitely Chalice would be a good side deck card or a main deck card. Of course, the Double Dark Hole, 2 Twins or 2 Cyclones if you own them. Things like Mirror Force, Starlight Road would be good. Definitely Imperial Order, because I thought about maining the Imperial Order. Anti-Spell, because Anti-Spell is always good. Breakthrough Skills. Them are just some of the cards that you could run. Now on to the combo I was talking about. All you need is 1 rat in hand, and then you're set up. So what you'll do is you'll normal summon the Rat Pier, and then what you'll do is you'll go into your Borbo. Then you'll activate your rat effect, which gives Borbo the same ability to detach the rat to the grave, to special summon the rat from the deck. It doesn't really matter where you're summoning it because you're going to link with it. Then what you'll do is you'll go straight on to either, this is your player preference. You can go into Dryden if you're scared that your opponent has a Max E, or you could just go into a Broad Bull, but it doesn't really matter. But in this case, I'm going to go into Broad Bull. You'll detach your Borbo and then add to hand anything, like, depending on your hand, a Whiptail, or depending on like a Thoroughblade. Doesn't really matter. But then you'll go into your Dryden here if you didn't choose to do it the last turn. But you'll go, or the last time. Then once you go into a Dryden, you'll go into your Chalk-a-9, detach your Dryden to the grave, Chalk-a-9 effect, re-special summon Dryden, and then you'll go into your Tiger Mortar, detach your Chalk or Broad Bull, doesn't really matter, player preference, and then reattach something. So you could like reattach your Chalk or something from the grave, but for this video I'm just going to do Chalk. Then what you'll do here is you'll link up into your Mrs. Radiant. So you end off with a strong board, and if you add a Whiptail to hand, you could equip the Whiptail. So you pretty much got a Dryden that can banish things whenever they battle, a Pop, and then a Mrs. Radiant that gains 500 attack to Dryden and Mrs. Radiant. And Mrs. Radiant has the ability when it dies to add back a rat to the deck or something like that, or to your hand. My bad, not the deck, to the hand. And then this is a combo if you brick and don't add the Dryden, like a Whiptail would probably be the worst thing. But you can normal summon your Whiptail. I almost said Thoroughblade. You normal summon your Whiptail, and this time you're going to go into your Hammer Kong or Harambe Kong if you like the meme part. Then what you'll do is you'll overlay into, where is it? Let me find it again. Your overlay into your Broad Bull. Here it is. And then you'll detach your Harambe Kong with your Broad Bull to add something to hand, like a Rat Pier for next turn. Or like a Thoroughblade if your hand bricked very bad. And then what you'll do from here is you'll go into your Chalk-a-9, you'll detach your Broad Bull, and then you'll bring back your Harambe Kong from the grave under here. Then what you'll do is you'll go into your Tiger Mortar and detach your Chalk, and then you can add back one of these. Like I say, it doesn't really matter, the Borbo or any... Oh, that was from last turn. You could add back any of them, but for video purposes, Chalk-a-9. And then what you'll do is you'll go into your Dryden from here, and it sets up, if you're going second turn, this sets up for a play to where if your opponent has a trap that would stop Dryden, like D-Prisons or something, it would have to affect the Harambe Kong instead of the Dryden, so that's also a good combo. And I just now realized, I didn't even show you guys the extra deck. Oh my gosh. And I mixed this all up too. Oh well, I'll try to keep it. Run Mrs. Radiant. If you have Link Spiders, definitely run the Link Spiders, but run Mrs. Radiant. Lightning, run the Lightning lineup. My gosh, this is so messy. Run Utopia and Lightning, because it's pretty much standard. Run the Castell. Run the Emerald. Best Zoodiac card, other than arguably Rat Pier and Broad Bull. Double Dryden. If you had a third, you could choose a third. I might run a third here soon. Double Broad Bull, because it searches things. And then the double Chalk, because Chalk's really good in this format, especially with links. You pretty much Chalk is a link monster pretty much, with how you can just detach something and bring it back. So I really like Chalk right now. I might boost her up to 3 as well. Tiger Mortar is really good for pretty much just reattaching things from your grave onto your XCs, and it's really good for going into link plays. Borbo, because it's a one-of, you always got to run your one-of Zoo. Harambe, or Hammer Kong, because you always got to run your one-of Zoos. This has been the Only Big Green Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Johnny. If you hated the video, dislike it, and if you don't like my channel, unsubscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I know it's weird seeing me upload a meta deck to my channel. But yeah, if you guys want anything else, or any other old format decks or something like that, let me know. And if I have it, I'll do it. I'm signing out.